Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play The Sims 3 on Saturday. So, Aria finally had a chance to take a shower, and she's survived her first day of classes, and so I thought for the evening, send her over to that coffee shop that she never got a chance to try out earlier, and I don't know why, but she's running around kind of funny there. That was weird. Anyway, so she's going to the coffee shop and getting herself a snack and hopefully get a little bit of socialization with some other students from the university. Seems like a popular place, so let's get started. First of all, I thought she could have a hot beverage. One thing I do hope would be kind of cool, especially in a setting like a coffee shop like this, especially since it's not a rabbit hole type of situation, where it would be nice if you could order a drink and food at the same time. Oh yeah, and here's some of her final morning for cuddles. that ends in about 40 minutes, and then we won't see her mourning for him again. I appreciate mourning for the loss of a dear pet, but if it keeps interfering with your day-to-day activities, it's kind of annoying. Alright, so we start with the beverage, and then she'll come back later and order a snack. And you'd think, she'd come over here with all these other people and hang out, but no, she goes by herself and sits in the corner. I guess she's shy or something. I don't know. It's kind of funny. And I just noticed that this coffee shop has a podium for some reason. I wonder if they give lectures in here or something. Or if, it's the wrong kind of mic stand for like music, so it's like someone would get up there and give a lecture or something, but why you would do that at a coffee shop, I don't know. That seems a bit weird. Yep, and now she's ordering a brownie. Back in the day when I was in college, I would eat all sorts of crap junk food and stuff while I was running around campus. So I figured, why not? She's gonna get her freshman 15 on, She does have a gym at the dorm too, so if she starts getting a little too chunky, I can have her work it off. Sims lose weight so much easier than people do in real life. Alrighty. And of course, by the time she's done actually eating, it takes her like over an hour to drink a coffee and eat a brownie. So now she's, she's by herself. But there's this guy in the bathroom, so I was like, well, maybe she can interact with him a little bit. Because everyone else decided to leave. Usually cafes and by my college, people would stay till they closed at midnight, so... Alright, finally we get getting a little socialization here. One thing I would like to ask everyone, I'm going to have her just kind of do friendly interactions, and no, I'm not going to attempt romantic interactions with anyone right now. But as she interacts with different Sims over the next few episodes, I would love people's feedback in terms of, hey, you should try and pursue, a romantic relationship with this Sim or that Sim. This guy is called Mahmoud. Interesting name for a blonde guy, but alrighty. Maybe he dyes it. In fact, it does kind of look like a dye job because you can kind of see dark roots around the edges of his face there. So, be that as it may, keep an eye on the different Sims I have her interacting with, and I'd love people's feedback in terms of who you think I should try to pursue as a potential romantic person for the future. I don't know if you start a relationship in college, if you can continue it after you get home. I do know that, I think I've said this before, that once she's done with her 2 terms in college, I'm going to have her go back home first. I don't even know if I even have a choice. I think she probably by default will go back home anyway. And then after she's done with that, you know, going back home and checking in on her parents and seeing if they're actually still around or not, I think I want her to move. And haven't decided if I'm going to have her move to the Island Paradise Island or exactly where I'm going to have her move to yet. I am getting the Into the Future Sims expansion pack, so I don't know if there's going to be a cool new town with that as well. That's coming out in a couple of weeks, so not sure if that'll be out yet by the time she's done with school. So we'll kind of see how I play that out. And if you guys have an opinion about that, let me know. I certainly want to take people's suggestions and incorporate that into my gameplay. So here she was bragging about her gamer skills, and then you know, I mean, I've noticed that they just kind of just stand there and stare at each other unless I tell them to talk to each other. Just like lots of awkward silence, and that's about it. They do seem to get along all right, but alright, so I'm looking at the time. It's almost 1 a.m. and she has a class at noon, so she needs to go home and get some sleep. So I'm saying goodbye and sending her home so she can go to bed. She needs to get some sleep so that she can be ready for the next day. I don't think I'm going to have her play hooky. I think she had a wish to play hooky at one point and skip a class, but I think I've decided I'm not going to have her do that. It personally bothers me. I was always a really good student and I never missed class unless I actually was sick. So I can't bring myself to have a sim that I'm playing do that. It just... There's certain things I just can't get past by myself. It's just one of those. It's one of those traits in me. It's like, you know what? I could never imagine skipping class, so I can't possibly have her do that. All right, so you'll notice that she's actually sleeping in this room here instead of in her room upstairs, and it turns out there's someone else in her bed, a guy. It's like, really? Why is he in there? But oops, I just got a reminder that I have a conference call after I'm done recording this, so sorry about that ding. I thought I had muted the other computer that I have here. Anyway, so here I'm figuring out that I have to dismiss the roommate because apparently they share this room. I'm like, why? It's only one bed and they're not going to be sleeping together. Anywho, so... I remember that there's this new lock thing that I can do, so here I'm going to lock it for everyone but her. So the next day she gets back into her room. I ended up having her just sleep in the other bedroom the night before because she needed her sleep and I didn't want to deal with it. And then here I realized that, oops, the chair in her computer is too far away from the desk, so I have to move it in order for her to use the computer for studying. Because, of course, she's completely incapable of moving the chair a little bit closer by herself. Alright, so now she can study a bit. I mean, she got herself a full night's sleep, and it's really early. It's like 6:30 in the morning, so she's got plenty of time between now and class to get some studying in, maybe get some food, that kind of thing. Have a little bit more of a normal kind of a day, and not be running around starving half to death. She's not going to be a good student if she's going to class hungry. I remember when I would do that back in college, and those were bad days. My notes didn't make any sense on days when I was hungry. Alright, so she's now studying. I know she wants to improve her guitar skill and her charisma skill, because those are two skills for her lifetime wish, which thankfully is not a career-specific lifetime wish. So, I haven't quite decided, exactly where she's going with her career yet. She could do her mom's thing and be an actress, but, she could do lots of different things. She's an art student right now, But we'll see ultimately where she ends up going with her career path and stuff. I'm gonna wait until she's done with college and moved to whatever her final town is that I'm gonna move her to, and then we'll go from there. But here I've got a whole bunch of different actions for her, and I actually just realized that I had thought that she'd gotten a good night's sleep, but apparently she didn't. But she wasn't in her bed. She wasn't in her room. So she must have woken up early and just gotten up and stuff. So she's going to be a bit tired. But thankfully she only has the one class today. So at least she can get some studying in, get some food. I decided to keep it simple this time. And instead of her burning waffles, she's just going to grab a plate of yogurt. She had junk food last night. She can have something a little bit more healthy for breakfast. Alright. Then I was going to have her use the restroom because her bladder was getting kind of low, but or kind of full. And nope, it's time for class. So she's running off to class. And she didn't even bring her book bag. And thankfully this particular class is not a rabbit hole class. This is the one class she has Tuesdays and Thursdays that is not a rabbit hole, which is kind of cool. You can actually sit, and you can actually see her sit here, and she goes right up to the front of the class that she wants. I kind of think that she might have a bit of nerd in her. Nerd or geek. I prefer geek over nerd, to be perfectly honest with you. Based on, all the definitions I know, people are using the word nerd now in the same way that they used to use geek, but a nerd was always kind of a subset of geek, in my opinion, and nerds were always a little bit... Nerds were basically computer focused and more socially awkward than geeks, and geeks... In my mind, a geek is someone who's, overly passionate and knowledgeable about a specific topic. So I could say that I'm a sci-fi geek because I watch a lot of sci-fi shows and I know a lot about them, especially Star Trek and Doctor Who and that kind of thing. I'm, also like with my career, I'm a web analytics geek. I'm really passionate about my career and I know a lot about the topic and things. So... to me, that's what a geek is. Whereas a nerd is more kind of like a computer geek. An antisocial computer geek, to me, is a nerd. But apparently people have kind of supplanted nerd and geek and are using them interchangeably these days. But be that as it may, this kind of classroom thing, you can see poor Aria is falling asleep. She must be a really bad lecturer, that professor. She doesn't seem to respond to questions at all, and you can see the last half of this class, she just kind of stands there staring at the students and not talking. It's like, what? I don't quite understand why there's less interaction. You'd think that she could pick students who were asking a question and answer them and be a little bit more interactive and stuff. But so I thought, well, maybe Aria could just take some notes here. And there's a strange dude just kind of standing over there in the corner. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Ready? Lots of students falling asleep, and I ended up just fast forwarding through this because this was just getting a little bit weird. And then the professor just kind of runs off. I'm like, okay. That's the end of that, isn't it? And then the professor invites Aria to a juice kicker for whatever reason. But I ended up accepting it because even though it's a professor inviting her, how fun of a party can that be? But it's her first party invitation, so I figured she should go. Schmoozing up to the professor is probably not a bad thing one way or the other. might help her on her exam grades. And then here I tried to get her to interact with this cool-looking leather jacket-wearing dude, but he had other plans, so he ran off. So never mind on that. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There's going to be more adventures next week. And you know, she'll be at the juice kegger and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.